have been completely unable to get these lug nuts, or inner lug nuts, to break free. I'm going to try to pull the axle out so that I can lay it in the drum flat and get them off more easily that way. Well, lock cups. There's even enough room to get the shaft out. Just throw it on the floor, that'll be great for the splines. Hello, you helping? So I've pulled off this side's wheel and brake drum since I can't get the lug nuts out. That's all grease from the axle just piled up. And the brake drum itself, that's grease layered onto it. So, don't hesitate to say that they did not have any brakes. And this wheel seal is bad, and that's probably why they had the axle, part of the reason they had the axle full of grease instead of oil. But at least these nuts for the backing plate are coming out nice and easy. Here it comes. Why is that thing so heavy? Working on this differential carrier here, preparing to start taking it apart. I figured I'd throw the dial on there just to see what the backlash is like. I don't know how well the camera will pick that up, but it's picking up 16 thousandths backlash. Book spec calls for somewhere between 6 and 10 thousandths of backlash, so pretty well out. Not that's a huge issue, given that we're about to be tearing it apart and making everything fixing everything. But just so we have some idea of the starting point, figured it wouldn't hurt to throw the back there. Fortunately, I'm not throwing the camera around. I do have a manual for this differential, so that's what I'm going to be following to take the thing apart. I'm smacking myself again. The cap and a copper washer. spring. Getting screw. I do not know what this thing does. They call it the oil distributor. I'm going to assume that it distributes oil. Long bolt is the bottom one. And it's this big goofy guy instead of just a very long bolt. Oh, lovely. Rust. I assume that must be a newer design. There's... You can just count this straight up out of there. No, that doesn't fit up that way. He comes out. And that's another one that has Lipton on it. And Eaton stamped right into it. Love to see it. And this one also just slides right on out. Also had Lipton paint on it at one point. Not expecting that one. Start on this side. Looks like somebody's already had this untwisted at some point, so probably not the first time anyone's been in here, but first time in certainly in a long time. That right there is why you don't reuse cotter pins. It's sheared there, just where I unbent it. One, two, three, four, 5 revolutions holding this one off. 6 turns on this side. There's a rusty bearing race. Love to see that. Oh, those are big bearings. Oh yay, there's 2 bearings on the pinion. Not factory bending, which concerns me. Makes me wonder why someone was in here and why they felt they needed to go this deeply. okay. Not seeing like giant killed back into the truck amounts of wear yet. These shafts, I'll have to make them, but they don't look bad. I legitimately found something that just needs a rebearing and reseal in this truck. There's a little bit of a step there, but not bad. And also the manual says you just pop new ones of those out as you need them. And there's where the spider gear lives. Oh, you don't need to get crushed. And this is the actual differential. Doesn't look like anyone's ever been into it. Gotten Speedy's axle all the way torn down, and I thought that I was ready to start reassembling it, but of course I'm not. Ran into some issues in this spider assembly, because I pulled it apart. See that it's got thrust washer on that spider, not one there, not one there, and not one on that one either, which is not me having lost the thrust washers. That's somebody back when the truck was in service having taken it apart down to this level and decided not to put in the other 3 thrust washers for some reason. So, unfortunately, spider gears started chomping into the case there. So, fortunately, did quite a bit of measuring, Googling, and unfortunately there's not much info about what spec. Yeah, it's all falling apart. That gap should be where it's, or that backlash should be on it. So, did some measurement. On the one where they did have the thrust washer on there, without the thrust washer, it measures to like 118 thousandths backlash. And this one, the most worn one, without the thrust washer on, measures to 145 thousandths. But when you put the thrust washer in, this measures to 90 thousandths. That distance right there with the thrust washer. So move the thrust washer over here, the super worn one, and measured it again. It comes down to 95 thousandths. Which, I'm not an axle builder, I don't know 100% for certain, but I think that is close enough, especially with a brand new thrust washer in there instead of this one that has been wearing and running. That should get us close. I believe that should get it close enough to spec that I'm happy with it. So, thankfully I don't have to source new ones of this case, because it's both halves. that I do have to source this thrust washer, which, on a toss-up between the case and a thrust washer, I'm going to take the thrust washer any day. So, of course, I have no clue why the mechanic back when this thing was a working truck decided that they only needed one thrust washer in there. I don't even know why they were in there. Haven't been able to find any damage or bearings that look like they've been replaced. So that's a mystery to me why they dived in there. But as soon as I get the new thrust washers in, I'm probably going to replace all 4. I mean, this one doesn't look bad, but I can see a crack in it. Also, I'm in here, might as well. That's unfortunately where this is going to wrap up. I had wanted to get this planetary and differential spider assembly put back together, but unfortunately that's going to have to get delayed. So, oh well. Thanks for watching.